Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1201. It is Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. Welcome to it. Cheers to that. Welcome to Thursday. Today we're going to talk about lots or singles. There's been this movement of eBay volume sellers closing up shop essentially, tearing down their stores and starting fresh with, in many cases, player team bulk lots. Why not both? That's what I say. We're going to talk about that. Lots or singles. I think there's benefits to both single sales and lot sales. I'll share why I believe that. And I did add about 200 singles to my eBay store yesterday. Also added several hundred cards, but in 4 or 5 listings through player lots in my store. And that's going to kind of be the theme where I'm going to intertwine it here in the future a little bit more. I've been a little more strategic with what I plan to list, etc. There's the link to my eBay store, also in the description, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more, and that's not just cards, that's items. Buy 7 or more items at regular price, you'll save 25% off at checkout. So if you want to go in by get that 25% discount, you only want lots, you can buy 7 lots and you'll get that 25% off. So there you go, 99centcards.com. I'll be in Janesville this Sunday, June 9th, is it? Tomorrow's the 7th, 8th, 9th. Yes, June 9th, Sunday, Janesville, Wisconsin. That's where I'll be set up. Dime boxes, blowing out. So if you're in Janesville on Sunday, you want a whole box, I'll sell a whole box to you as well. So on the cheap. So that's this coming Sunday, Janesville, Wisconsin, Holiday Inn Convention Center. I'll have some dollar boxes. I haven't replenished. There's going to be some new stuff in the dollar boxes, but just haven't got around to adding much more. Maybe in the next couple days, I will get to it, but I'll have some dollar boxes there. But kind of want to blow out the damn it, where's Max to help me out on the word I'm looking for? The agenda, I guess. The agenda for this Sunday in Janesville is blowing out bulk. And usually that's not what happens when the plan is to blow out bulk. But hey, maybe there's a buyer. I mean, it's hard enough to find bulk buyers on Facebook Marketplace, which is open, to thousands of people in your area, tens, hundreds of thousands of potential consumers. Where a card show, you're, dozens if you're lucky, so that are looking for bulk. So come see me in Janesville this Sunday. Shop my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Yesterday, I feel better than I did yesterday. I didn't know if I caught something at Anawan Fun Days. You never know what you can catch at Anawan Fun Days. I don't know if I caught like a bug or something, but I felt off. I had, and it started on today's Thursday. Tuesday night is it was weird. It like hit me all of a sudden. Tuesday night, I made a tuna steak. Basically a tuna steak salad. And I'm talking like the raw steak. And I just eat it raw, but I did sear it for, I should have seared it longer than what I did. But I put it on. I don't think it was high enough heat. But it doesn't matter. Usually I eat it raw, so it doesn't matter in the long run or in the short. Didn't matter. And then I just put it in greens and lettuce, and I think I threw some tomato in there. So that was my salad. And then I had a ginger ale, sugar-free ginger ale, which actually tastes the same as. And I'm trying to avoid even like the sugar-free pops and stuff. Some of them have aspartame and nasty stuff. So, but I did have a ginger ale, and all of a sudden I just like my nose and like my head It's like, oh, what the hell? And then yesterday I felt like off the whole day. Well, I slept like shit on Tuesday night. I slept like terrible shit. And I think that's part of the reason I was in a zombie phase. I was just zombie all day. And but I can feel, and I sneezed a ton. So I could see. And what do I do? Because I'm a stubborn ass. What do? I open the window. I can literally see the pollen flying through the air. And what do? I open the windows. I went out and I sat outside on my patio down here, and I had pollen. I'm like, what am I doing? I want to be outside. It was nice out. But I feel better. Like my head's a little clearer, not as congested. But I can still feel like the tingle, that like itchy tingle in the back of your throat. I can feel that. So we did and it rained yesterday. It rained in the morning and then it rained at night. I feel like we're in Florida where it rains like every day. It only rains at night. But it feels like we're in or the Pacific Northwest. Rain up. There's there's some pollen flying right down there. But yeah, it's rain. I think it's supposed to cool off today. Maybe today. Yeah, today maybe. So that was my night. Cubs. I watched the first pitch, and the first pitch was a home run. Jameson Taillon gave. I'm like, son of a bitch. We're playing the White Sox, and they fucking suck. What's that make the Cubs? Really fucking suck. But yet again, 2 nights in a row. The White Sox have now lost 13 straight. And I'm talking about I sound like a Mets fan. I sound like Mark. Where's Mark Marinello? I sound like Mark complaining about the Cubs. It could be a lot worse. I could be a Mets fan. And I'm complaining, and I look, and the Cubs win. They hold right now in the National League the second wild card spot. The fucking Cubs. They suck. And somehow they are currently holding at 500. And that shows you how bad the National League is. The Cubs at 500, they're 31-31, I think. The Cubs right now at 500 hold the sole possession of the second wild card spot. Yikes. So maybe they can make something happen. Let's go to the chat. Todd's in the house. He says, happy birthday. It is. Today is my birthday. 42 years old today. I'm not 42 years young. I'm 42 years old. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Kyle. He says I like selling singles and lots on eBay. Why not both? That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to tell you why later on. Like an hour into the show, like we usually do. Good evening to George. He's over in Korea. Harlan, good morning. Orlando, speaking of Florida, Orlando, good morning to you. Scott, out on the West Coast. He's early. Only 5:11 out there. Mr. Archer, good morning. Philly Joe's in the house. David, good morning. Cooter is here. He says, good morning and happy birthday. Thank you. Good morning, Herman. What's up? Dan is here. Good morning. Good morning, all. Life has been wild, and I haven't been on for a bit. Welcome back. Tracy's in the house. He's from the CLT airport. Is that, CLT? Charleston? I'm going to guess Charleston. Thank you. I appreciate it. Neil, what's up? Good morning. James in the house. Mercury in the fish got you. Hey, maybe that's what it was. Too much mercury. Does tuna have mercury? I know there's certain fish that I know, like with various friends who have been pregnant over the years, we would go to sushi and they're like, oh, I can't have this. I can't have this. I can't have that. I can't have this. Thank you, Neil. There's Mark. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good morning to you. Victor, good morning. Cubs, another great comeback. It is a happy Thursday when we fly the W. Dan says, speaking of lots, I've been buying some good success having some good success selling set builder lots of 100, 200, and 300 count lots from the 70s. Red Light 34 says, hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Red Light 34. Thank you, Philly Joe. George says, congratulations on reaching level 42 in the game of life. There were some bumps along the road. Didn't know if I'd make it this far. Thank you, Herman. Mark says, even when the Mets win, they piss me off. It's never easy with them. 9 games under 500 and only 4.5 back of the wild card. False hope for a disaster of a team. Yeah. The good thing is the Mets play in the National League, which is, pretty much mediocre from top to bottom. So they can, hey, it's only June 6th. They can make their way and maybe make a run. James says, lots are the way to go. Less bullshit with the cheap-ass bastards and the $2 cards that take a month to arrive. I will disagree with that. Happy birthday. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you. Kyle says, I just started listing NASCAR lots with duplicates in my collection, selling through rather well. Yeah, I like both lots and singles. I want to talk. I made it to stage 42 as George, but I like that. I like gamification of our birthdays. Made it to level 42. Whenever my birthday comes around, I think back on birth, like most birth. I am not a birthday person. Like I don't give a shit about birthdays. And I am an asshole because I don't give a shit about other people's birthdays either. It's like I don't give a shit about my birthday, except my wife's birthday. And my wife's gotten to the point where she doesn't give a shit about her birthday either. That's just, I guess that's when you get to level 42, level whatever of your birthdays, you just don't care anymore. It's like, some people can say, oh, for my 25th birthday, I did this. And for my 29th birthday, I did this. And for my 32nd birthday, I did this. And for my 38th birthday, I did this. And it's like, I can remember some. I can remember my 22nd birthday for whatever reason. And it was just hanging out in Macomb at Parkside. Went to I remember staying out late, went to an after party. I remember my 25th because we had a quarter century birthday party at my house that I just bought. I think how old was it? Yeah, probably around the first birthday at my new house. I remember my 30th birthday because I worked 3 jobs that day. In the morning, I worked at the university. In the afternoon, I worked at the newspaper. And in the evening, I worked the Peoria Chiefs game. And then we went out for some drinks after the Chiefs game. And that's about it. That's about it. That's about all the birthday. But going back to my childhood, my probably my all-time favorite birthday, and I'm going to share a picture. My all-time favorite birthday would have been, and I think this was my 9th birthday. When I looked at the picture this morning, I'm thinking, what birthday would that have been? Was it 1990 or 1991? So either my 8th or 9th birthday. And I just remember always it was my 3rd grade birthday, which I think would have been 1990. But and the reason I'm like, because in 4th grade, my cousin came to live with us. And for my entire 4th grade year, he lived with us. And yet he wasn't living with us at this time. But I think he moved in like that summer going into the school year. Because obviously my birthday, June 6th, is like at the end of the previous school year. So that's why I think I always relate it to 3rd grade, because I would have been 2 weeks removed from school getting out of 3rd grade and the beginning of summer going into my 4th grade year. So I'm going to share the screen here. Childhood birthday parties. This was a blog I wrote a few years ago. So this is my mom. This is the kitchen. Actually, still kind of looks like this. The cabinets are the same. New refrigerator. But the cabinets and I think there's new counters. There's new flooring, which you can't see anyway. But That's my mom's kitchen. I was just there on Sunday and Monday. And difference is the tables, that it's not that table anymore. Probably too many cigarette burns, as you see Dad ashen right there. Table smaller and moved over, but my mom has like some type of thing there. Anyway, so in this picture, we can go, is it clockwise? Bottom left is in unfortunately, like I don't even like half of the people. Well, my dad is no longer with us. Two of the kids I have completely lost contact with. And that's the weird thing about like looking back at our childhood. And here is like one of the most monumental birthdays of my lifetime. And like two of the people that shared that day with me, I don't even know where they live. I haven't talked to them in decades. Kind of weird like that. So bottom left is Blake. Usually I see him at Anawan Fun Days. Did not see him this year though at Anawan Fun Days. But I usually see him once a year. Next to him, the little girl is my cousin Tasia. Usually I see her at Anawan Fun Days. Did not see her this year, but I usually see her a couple times a year. To her left is my buddy Chuck, and we were actually pretty close for a while. Now we haven't. We've kind of lost touch. He still lives in the area. He lives in the town next to Anawan, but he's got kids. During COVID, we texted back and forth a lot, basically like stupid high school and college memories. Just Say No, like classic early 90s shirt. That's my cousin Michelle. I actually just saw her on Sunday, and we usually see each other a few times a year. She was basically like a sister to me. We were really tight growing up. That's me in the Anawan baseball shirt and the buzz cut. And then the two kids next to me are David and Jeremy. Completely lost touch with them. David, actually, I saw David's mom and stepdad on Sunday at Anawan Fun Days. David's dad was my boss at the IGA. Stepdad, I should say, was my boss at the IGA. He moved. I think he moved. He went to school with us for a while, and then he moved in with his dad, I think, for high school, his real dad or biological dad. Then he went off to, I think he went to Michigan State for school. And I probably haven't seen him since I was in high school or early college. And then next to him is Jeremy. We were high school classmates and went to Blackhawk together. Have no idea where he's from, where he's at. Haven't seen him since 2001 or 2002. And then next to him is actually my nephew. I will see him in 2 weeks. He just got married down in Mississippi, and his reception is coming up in a couple weeks. And then my dad, Ash, in a cigarette with a Keystone light. And I love I love this photo because it's so, this is my childhood. Like dad smoking a ciggy, drinking a Keystone light. There's just random shit on the kitchen table. Like, look at the kitchen. Like, that was my kitchen table growing up. Look, a random doorknob. There's a fucking doorknob on the table. There's a tape measure. Of course, the ashtray. I think James, the ashtray is an 80s staple. I mean, I made ashtrays and I hated my parents smoking, but what did I make in art class with clay? Fucking ashtrays. And I'm pretty sure I can see the wrapper. It looks like, now there's no yellow borders blinding me, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm looking at 91 Fleer baseball cards, but I can see, and I know this would have been this would have been 1991, right after third grade, going into fourth grade. But I am looking at baseball cards of some sort, and I can't quite tell. It looks like maybe, I think that might be a Doritos wrapper over on the far right side of the table, or Doritos bag. And then next to that, it looks like a score pack. It looks like a pack of Score baseball. And then right above into the slightly to the left, it looks like maybe a 91 Fleer. And I do know I got a 91 Fleer baseball team set, Chicago Cubs team set, for my birthday that year. So this was like such an iconic birthday. we went down to the Quad Cities, and we went to ABC Collectibles in Moline, big card shop. And I remember and this is the sign of the times. I bought a Milwaukee Brewers 1990 Topps team set because I wanted not only the Gary Sheffield, but Greg Vaughn was I was prospecting all the way back in 1990, and I bought a Peoria Chiefs set, and so that 80, and it was 89 Peoria Chiefs set, and that has always been an iconic part of my collection is an 89 Peoria Chiefs card set. So, and then we probably went to McDonald's afterwards, and then we camped in the backyard in a tent in the middle of town, and that was my 9th birthday party in 1991. So there you go. A little nostalgia, birthday nostalgia. Where are we at? Stukes in the house. Good morning. Thank you. I appreciate it. James says, what are you selling 4-row 10-cent boxes for? I do $50. $50. Red Light 34 says birthday is just another day as you get older. It is. It's just another day. I'm gonna do the same thing I do every other day. I'm gonna ship and list and ship. We are gonna do sushi tonight, which that's something we normally do. We don't eat in the restaurant though often. We usually just do takeout, but we'll go sit down. I'll have a Sapporo or two and call it a night. Philly Joe says, can you discuss pricing with lots, how you package? Great question. So pricing, I just look at kind of some eBay comps and see what stuff is selling for. Pricing lots is difficult though, because there's so much you have to sort through. So if you do like in parentheses 50 on lots or 10, whatever lot size you're selling, it may drill it down to what you have. So I just do eBay comps, which is the same way I comp for singles when I do comp, which I don't often. Some I just make up. Like the Jordan lots, I made up the pricing, and I have a price in mind of, okay, if somebody sends me an offer, this is how low I'll go. So that's kind of how I do. It's just, like what's this, where's my price range at? I kind of have a feeling of where it's at. So a lot of it's just feel, but sometimes I have to look at the numbers. And how you package. So I will I'll sleeve each card. So a 50 card lot, I'll sleeve them, and then I'll put them in a team. And I have a smaller team bag. So I'll put roughly 25 in each, maybe 24 and 26. I'll basically split them in half because not all cards are created equal. Some are thicker than others, but basically I'll put two styles, split the stack. Okay. They're the same size, team bag, cardboard over the team bag, and in a bubble mailer. That's how I ship and that's with 50 card lots. Now, if I'm doing smaller lots, say sometimes I do 8 card lots for $5. Those go in card savers and PWEs. So that's how I package them up. Johnny M, good morning. Thank you. It's his daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to her. James, yes, the ashtray, an 80s staple. Card Hobbyist says, kids wearing pastel pinks, blues, and yellows. Just say no shirt, ashtray on table, era checks out. I know, right? I love it. Just say no. We've got, a Bolt tank top. We've got the highlighter yellow. Yeah. Love it. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate it. T206 Kid says, love that picture. I have very similar ones from my childhood. That would have been me in around 96, 97. Yeah. Card Hobbyist says, the kitchen table is the catch-all for my whole family. Bunch of pack rats we are. Yes. The odd thing is my dad was a pack rat. So my dad would defend himself from being a pack rat. All right. My dad wasn't, he would give my mom so much shit about hoarding and being a pack rat. And she is getting better. She is starting to like, okay, she doesn't need to go to antique shops and buy all this stupid shit. She would do projects. I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to fix it up and turn it into that. And then it sat out on our back patio forever until it's like, well, I'm going to put this on the curb. So my dad would give her so much shit about being a pack rat. My dad's like, I'm not a pack rat. I only keep what I need. Of course, he keeps every old shirt because he can use it for an oil rag. He keeps he was on an ice cream kick, probably at that point of the picture was taken. No, because he replaced beer with ice cream. So he was still drinking Keystone Light. But he got on this ice cream and he had half-gallon jugs or whatever. And he would use those and he would use them. But there's also like a stack of them in the garage. He'd put screws and just random shit in there. Come on, Dad, you were a pack rat. And then, like, I think the pivotal moment that I realized, Dad, you really were a pack rat, was after he passed away. And we were kind of cleaning out, not really cleaning out, because the garage still looks. My mom was going to have an auction because he has thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in tools and, all kinds of shit. And she was going to have an auction. And she never got around to it, which is my mom. And she didn't just start like, do you want this? And I'm like, no, like, I don't need this. My brother took a bunch of stuff because he's a gearhead and my nephew's a gearhead. So they took some random stuff. And my mom, do you care? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't need tools. I don't want tools. I don't need them. I don't want them. We hire people that have their own tools. I don't know how to use those tools. So we're in the attic and just kind of clearing out. And over the years we had, and the attic was not a good place to store things. In the attic that I grew up in. And we brought down boxes and just random stuff. Open up a box. And it was filled with paperwork. I'm like, oh, what is this? My dad had meticulously kept every single receipt when he built. So the house that was in the picture, house that I grew up in, house that my mom still lives in, my dad built that from the ground up in the mid-'80s. He kept every single receipt. I pulled out a receipt. Johnson Lumber Company was our local lumber yard that closed many years ago, but it was open in the 80s. He bought screws for like 97 cents. The receipt for 97 cents was in there. Like, I know you're supposed to keep some records, but I think 40 years was long enough. So it's like, okay, Dad, you're a bit of a pack rat. Johnny M says, looks like Paul Carl has really started something with all his talk of selling lots. Seems like everyone is doing it now. I've always done small lots, 8 to 25 cards. Best have to do. There's Paul Carl. He heard the lot. He's the lot whisperer. He heard lots. He's here. Morning. Hope I didn't miss too much. This is right up my alley. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Philly Joe. Cooter, what's up? I have extra 60 and 74 mid-grade set. Do I break or sell his sets? I'm all about the singles, especially when it comes to the 70s. So 70s singles fly, even later 70s, 77, 78, 70, 79, not so much, but 78s, 76, 77, fly out of my store as singles. And that's why I price them at 99 cents with free shipping, because I don't sell too many singles at 99 cents free shipping when it comes to 70s cards. I'll have somebody coming in by 40 or 50 at a time, which the price is right there. So And that's it. Well, 75 cents because I have my discount. But I know not everybody is set up to sell singles on a high volume basis. So if you don't want to ship a whole bunch, I would sell as uh, set builder lot or a partial set or a full complete set if it's mid grade. Um, so that's how I would treat it. I mean, it's just kind of what do you want to put in the time? I don't think Cooter has Card Dealer Pro or a scanner. I would, it would take a long time to break that up and sell as singles. But another thing you can do is you can look at, okay, what's a mid-grade, who's in 70, I don't know, 74, Dave Winfield rookie card. Okay, what's a raw mid-grade Dave Winfield rookie card sell for? And it might be, okay, that's what I look at when it comes down to like 82 Donruss at 83 Donruss. It's like, well, I can sell the whole set for $40 shipped, or I can sell the Cal Ripken Jr. for 15 on its own, and I can certainly make up the rest. And I can cherry pick superstars, and I can, well surpass what it's worth. Now, you're dealing with a little higher numbers when it comes to those sets. I think it what's the best way? There is no best way. There is no best way to do it. There's a way that gets you the most money, but it's going to take, it's the whole time versus money part. I do this full time. I'm different than many others. If this isn't full time for you, I just do the whole set. If you don't want to spend all the time shipping and listing, sell it as a set. But if you're doing this full time, and that's sometimes I think I take for granted that this is full time for me, and it's not full time for most people. So my advice doesn't really matter to the masses because, I would break that up. That's also my business. I hope that answers the question. Mark says, for my 9th birthday in 1977, my dad took me and my buddies to see Star Wars and then McDonald's. Still have the Star Wars glass somewhere. Very cool. Love those. So our 9th birthdays are just, I think it's that, I think my mom was telling me this a while back. We were just talking about like things we remember. And like, for some reason, there are years and there's like scientific studies, psychological studies that there are certain ages where our brain develops and retains more information than other points of our lives. And I think around the age of 7 or 9, which lines up for me, I'm going to have to try to find that art if there's an article on that. But like the years 1989 to 1991 are my ages 7, 8, and 9 in life. And like I can remember stupid details from those years. But then 92, 93, it's kind of a blur. Junior high is kind of a blur to me. But there are certain points, like 7th grade, kind of a blur. I remember a couple things, but it's like, I don't remember anything about 7th grade. Kind of psychology fascinates me. Johnny M says, have you ever checked out Social Blade? I have not, never heard of it. You can see what YouTubers make a month. Some of these guys are doing $5K a month just from YouTube. Social Blade. Yeah. You can see me making about $150. I'm not making much on YouTube. Social Blade. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram statistics. Let's type in 1 million Cubs. There's Twitter. Oh, is my YouTube channel is probably different. Enter YouTube user. Is it 1 million Cubs project? Type that in. There we go. 1 million Cubs project. 560,000 video views. Seems like a lot. Ooh, my grade's a C plus on Social Blade. That's not good. But I mean, honestly, I turn the camera on and just start talking about my 9th birthday party. I think that's a C plus grade in my eyes. It is off though. It says my estimated monthly earnings are $3 to $54. And estimated yearly earnings are $40 to $648. So that's not accurate. So my average is probably around 150 to 175 per month. I can tell you exactly. Usually I don't share these, but it's YouTube, so I don't care. And eBay, you can go look at it. You can do the numbers yourself. Earn. So my next payment, so for the month of May, I earned $147.52. That's what will be in my bank account. So my net YouTube earnings were right around $150. So view payment activity. And that seems that's pretty low. So that'll be my June payment. My May payment was $178. April was $165. March was a big one, $217. So Social Blade, the earnings are not accurate. Yeah, so there you go. But that's kind of cool. Keystone Light, bitter beer face. My dad was he was a Keystone drinker, and then so that would have been his Keystone phase. Pre-Keystone, he was Old Milwaukee Light. And then Busch Light. And I, as like a 19-year-old, turned him on to Busch Light. T206 Kid says, your dad definitely looks like a guy that changed his, my dad was not paying somebody to change the oil or mow the yard. Oh, God, no. I'm on Team Bo. I take mine to the oil change place. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. My dad changed his own oil. Lewis, what's up? You can write some of those receipts off when you resell the house. Good morning to you. Jay Grimes says, my dad was the same way. He had screws and bolts in empty metal coffee cans. Yes, that was another one. Coffee cans. Pocket on all shirts for the SIGs. That's my dad. Yep. Our dads were brothers in arms. Yes. Had to have that. Can you see? Oh, his shirt's covered up. Back to the camera. Kyle says, my favorite hobby evolutions are when you tell stories about your dad. Reminds me of so many family members. World is losing too many old school dudes. I know. It's we're losing that generation. Flawed Thinker, what's up? Good morning. Paul's got to run. John says, if there's a way to make posting multiplayer cards in Card Dealer Pro a little bit quicker? No. And I can tell you why. Also, what information do you keep on the title and what information do you delete? So actually, both of those questions have been, and I think Card Dealer Pro has reached out to multiple users to get like best practices. The problem is we all do things differently and you can't really tailor it. It's not a one size fits all. Titles are not one size fits all. Multiplayer, there's not like how do you do it? So to your first question, is there a way to make posting multiplayer cards a little bit quicker? Probably not. You're just going to have to do what you're doing because if there's one size fits all, it may not be the size you want. So there's just not an easy way to do it. What information do you keep on the title? This was also in a piece we did with Card Dealer Pro. And I think they're going to actually use, if they haven't already started, they're going to have my title template. They're taking my template. So like, this is what Bo uses for his title templates. And I think they're going to use some other users' templates as well. So not just mine, but others like, okay, if you want to use this guy's template, that lady's template, whatever, that'll be there. So my title template, and I've shared this before, I don't know what video, so I can try to find it again. Let's see, templates. templates. All right, so let's share the screen. We will remove that. All right, so can you see? All right, let's just blow it up. All right, so in your template screen, there's your listing templates, or here's my listing templates. So here's my bow settings default. You can go into edit your templates, and all of mine are defaulted to fixed price, sale price. I do allow offers, good till canceled, make live immediately, eBay standard envelope, 3 days, free shipping, my location, my returns. Okay, so that's not my title template. Those are listing templates. Okay, so there you go. Listing. There's my listing templates, not the question. Let's see. Account settings, templates. Okay. All right. That's why I get confused, because there's listing templates and title templates are in different places. So here's all the templates I use. So here's my baseball template. And I use player, set, card, variation, subset, numerical, team, attribute, and then baseball card, which I type in, which I don't type in. It's typed in, so baseball card comes up on every baseball listing. And you can add whatever you want. That's what I use on my templates. You can do them in different order. You can do set, card, variation, subset, numerical, player, team, attribute, baseball card, which is kind of when I list on my phone, I do it a different way. So those are the ones. Now, in the case of like Bowman Chrome Purple Wave Refractor numbered out of 250, all of this stuff is going to be too much. It's going to be over 80 characters. So what do you take out? I take out, like, if it's a Royals card, I'll take out Kansas City, because team will come up Kansas City Royals. That's usually the first thing I take out. Depending on whatever the set name is, a lot of times Bowman Chrome Prospects. Chrome will be in there twice. Prospects will be in there. I take out the second Chrome. I'll take out Prospects. So there's just, again, it's not a one size fits all. It's just what your own discretion is. So it's hard for me to say what you take out, but don't know if I answered that. Good morning, Brian. Got scared about ripping the Bowman Sapphire and sold the Bucks for $600 last night. Nice. That's a win. Happy birthday. Thank you. Good morning, Brian. Flawed Thinker says, so at about 25 days a month and 1 hour per day, you make roughly $6 per hour. Yes. Not bad for just turning on the camera and talking about your 9th birthday. Oh, look at that bird outside. Anyway, cardboard. Right. That's what I do. $6 an hour for doing this. Thank you, Merle. Cooter says, won a Maze card auction for 55 cents free shipping. The seller printed a label but has never shipped. I think he is wanting me to request to cancel. This may be the first negative feedback I give. Oh, well, that sucks. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. So lots are singles. We've seen Paul blew up his store. Ty from Chasing Cardboard blew up their store. Dan, US Sports Card, blew up his store. We've seen others. I know there's been multiple people in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group, completely wiped out their stores. They're going to lot. Now, I have never been anti-lot. In fact, I was actually very surprised by my own inventory yesterday. So I am going to, and I wouldn't say it's a pivot. It's just an expansion of my store. And just a different thing that I'm going to market and highlight, which will be player lots. Now, I'm not deleting inventory. I'm not going to stop listing singles, but I am going to meld in. Is meld the right word? Meld in. I'm going to meld in some more player lots and just see how they do. And I've been sorting players out for a couple weeks now. It's also beneficial to list some as singles. So I'm gonna get into that as well. So I was shocked because I have listed lots for ever since I started on eBay. I mean, I've got listings from the late 90s, player lots from 1998 Bowman. So it's not anything new. But what I have learned over time, certainly don't do auctions, but sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. And you just gotta, it's kind of with singles. Sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. Sometimes something you think is going to sell sits. Sometimes something you think is not going to sell and going to sit sells right away. Lots are just like singles in that regard. So when I went into, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to make it kind of a featured category, or at least featured listings. Haven't figured out. Oh, Paul's back just in time. So I'm going to update my homepage, and I'm still working on it to highlight some of the player lots that I have. And when I went to, and I created a store category for my player lots, took me a second to figure out where the store category, but once I found it, it's like, oh, this is super easy. So I went in and searched lot in my item titles. And holy shit, I knew I had player lots, and I have player lots that have been listed for more than 5 years. And I had like 400 lots. I have like 400 lots in my eBay store. Like, oh shit. Now, a lot of them, some of them are, probably overpriced because they were prospect lots in 2019 that aren't very good anymore. So, that was one thing that kind of surprised me when I did my own kind of internal review on lots in my own store. Let's go up to Brian's comment. Player and team lots have been doing okay for me. If I have 3 or more of a player, I try to do a lot. If I have a lot of team cards from a specific set, I try to do team lots. Paul is back. Thank you. John says your thumbnail is clickbait. I thought this would be a Dora the Explorer themed show. John says it would be super cool if you could post lots through Car Dealer Pro. Yeah, and I attempted to do some lots through Car Dealer Pro, and for whatever reason, I'd have to go back and try it again. It might just, my brain might have needed a refresh. Sometimes you step away and you come back. And I was having some difficulty with it just because it would be beneficial. Trying to think of a way that because I am faster. Even the photo thing would be and not scanning the individual cards, but just taking a photo and uploading. I'll have to go back and revisit that. John says there's fulcrum for lots with shipping. Absolutely. With PWE, it's and this is why I didn't do small lots until basically ESE came along. And once I started to get a good feel for how many cards I can ship in a plain white envelope without postage due or whatever, it's never foolproof. There's always going to be eventually there's going to be a time when you're going to get dinged when you shouldn't have been dinged with postage. But 8 to 10 cards can go in a PWE, 2 ounces, and it'll go. But then there is that fulcrum where you get to like 15 or 20, and it's like, okay, it's not really worth it to do a 20 card lot of Eric Davis because people aren't going to spend 50 cents per card on Eric Davis. People do, though, by the way. If you list some singles, Eric Davis sometimes sells. But it's going to sell a lot slower at those price points. But, and at 10 cents a card or 15 cents a card, you're losing money. I will lose money on singles, but I'm not going to, because listing a lot takes me a little bit longer than listing, I can list 200 singles or 5 lots, right? The same amount of time. Maybe it doesn't take me that long to list a lot, but well, actually, yeah, it does, because it takes a long time to sort out 50 cards and take pictures of them. Flawed Thinker says, when 24 Bowman came out, I decided to make some player lots and put them for auction. I don't like where this is going. Dylan Cruz and Walker Jenkins, for example. Not sure if it went better than singles, but it all sold, so I'm happy. And at the end of the day, that's what mattered. Like, if you're happy, it doesn't matter. If you're happy with the results, it shouldn't matter. John says it would be super cool if you could post player lots through Card Dealer Pro. That would be pretty freaking amazing. Paul says, I tried to get Chrono Card to integrate the lot stuff into it, but they have different priorities. I think it will cannibalize a large chunk of the CDP Chrono Card biz. I've been working on a web app for my lot software, but it's currently paused, unfortunately. Jody, good morning. The key to lots is automation. Scan cards like you would for singles, but have those scans automatically transform into images for the lot. Johnny M says, I'm running a buy 10 or more, get 50% off. Seems like buyers like to make their own lots. And that brings us to a great point I want to make about lots and singles. Why not both? And that's what I'm having success with. Because I can list 100 Roger Clemens cards, or you can list 100 card lot or 250 card lots, and I'm making money on selling singles of Roger Clemens. And every once in a while, somebody comes in and at $1.75 per card comes in and buys 30 or 40 Roger Clemens cards. I've had it happen with Clemens, Bonds, Tom Glavine, of all people. And so, Tom Glavine's a guy I'll list 100 because it takes me no time at all to list, a bunch of Tom Glavine cards. But Tom Glavine would be far down the list of somebody I'm going to take time to make a lot for. But he's a guy that I've sorted out because it's like, okay, well, there's a bunch of rookies. I know those will move. So I'm doing both. And I'm not, my business is singles, but sometimes I'll sell high-end cards. Sometimes I'll sell sets. Sometimes it doesn't, it's a little bit of everything. But my specialty is low-end singles, and I'm sticking to that. It still works. It continues to work. You always want to make more. There's not a day that I wake up where it says, I'm satisfied with how much money I made yesterday. Not a single day. And there will never be a single day that I wake up and think, I'm very happy with my results. I could make $10,000 in a day, and it's like, well, tomorrow I want to make $11,000. I could make 25 cents, and tomorrow, I want to make 50. It's all, I'd be really pissed if I only made 25 cents, but it's all, in reality, once you get to those levels, you think, oh, I'd love to make X amount of money in a day on eBay. And then when you get there, it's like, well, this isn't enough. I want to make more. It's never enough. And that's also the type of mindset you have to have, not only in eBay sales, but any sales you're in. Like, it can never be enough, but you can, but also don't let it take control of your life where you're just constantly stressing out about making the next buck. So there's a fulcrum point for that as well. Flawed Thinker says, our baseball season is over, so now I have more time to list. I've been lacking. There you go. A time to lean is a time to clean. So when it comes to lots and singles, my biggest question, and I think Paul has kind of a runway now. I don't know how long he's been since he blew up his singles store. And I know your singles were a lot of junk, a lot of like commons and stuff. I'm curious, because we all know, and there's almost, I don't know if there's scientific proof, but there's enough out there that we know ending and relisting cards all of a sudden triggers that algorithm. I wonder if that's the same with Paul, with your inventory. And I think you probably have the longest runway to kind of have a grasp on, is it sustainable? Or do you just see that bump where right away, the first 2 weeks, or really first 30 days, you get a good idea, but then what? what are the next 30 days? What's month 2 and month 3 look like after you blow up your store? Are you still getting the same results you got within that first 30 days? That's what I'm curious about, because we all know the impact that ending a listing and relisting has on the search and the algorithm and all that. Even if there is proof and you're like, yeah, month 3 and it's still killing it, it's still not something that I would be interested in doing. But I am curious on the numbers. Paul says September 2023 was okay. So it's been almost a year. So I'm curious, how have your sales been? You probably saw a big spike. I think it's also unfair to compare to your single. I mean, it's unfair really for any of us to compare single sales. And, you know, I could, if I blow up my eBay store and then I'm only focusing on high-end cards and look at what I did. Well, obviously now you're selling high-end cards. You're not selling 89 Topps Eric Davis anymore. But it's also unfair to compare to other store, any of us to compare to each other, because we have different inventory. We have different pricing structures. We have different following counts on eBay. You know, I see some frustration. Well, if I run a 50% off 5+ sale, I get a ton of action. Sometimes I can make 1,000 sales, sell 1,000 cards in a couple days running a 50% off sale. But I have over 4,000 followers to my eBay store. And I think that's a big, because, you know, that coupon will go to those buyers, whatever your social media following is. So it's unfair to compare to you know, stores that have bigger followings. You know, I don't want to compare myself to Burbank because of their inventory and their following, and they've been doing it for 40 years or more. So you just, it's nice to have that to reference, but again, try to hold back and not get discouraged. Paul says, I haven't been doing ESE. I keep listings active even at 0 stock so I can replace scans and increase stock. The SEO benefit of that is huge. I'm at pretty much the same revenue, but higher profit than when I had 100,000 listing singles. But again, the singles that you did have, I saw your store, 91 Upper Deck. So is it really fair to compare to 100,000 singles? And that's kind of what I'm saying, where we can compare, you know, in listings. Like, oh, I have this many listings, but if they're not good listings, I have a lot of shit listings in my store. We all probably do. And that's why, as I get over that, you know, once I got over that 50,000 listings hump, it's like, okay, I don't want to list, you know, junk anymore. And I still do list junk because junk still sells, but I'm trying to implement. I've got the box beat. Where'd that box go? Oh, it's on the floor. I've got a box on the floor, bunch of autographs, some of them aren't liquid though. Even if you have autographs and relics, it's just not liquid. Now, if you have Adley Rushman, if you have Acuna, Trout, Ohtani, it's liquid stuff. Michael Jordan. What is the lowest number of cards you post player lots? Does it matter to how quickly it sells? That's a good question, and I've had differing results. Now, my sample size is so much smaller. But I've had success. I've probably had more success with small lots than I have large lots. And I'm talking like I got to credit Kin for this. Beans Ball Card Blog turned me onto this probably during COVID. The small, like 8 card lots. It's like, yeah, I can put them in a PWE, price them at like eight cards for $5, depending on the player. Eric Davis, probably not going to sell 8 cards for $5. Bo Jackson, boom, going to fly. Griffey, going to fly. Again, kind of the same concept, liquidity. So 8 is kind of the lowest, but if it's Michael Jordan, I would do a 5 card. You know, I think it's fair enough. Probably 5 would be my minimum. Because any less than that, you might as well, if you do less than 5, you might as well just list them as singles. You know, what's the point in a 3 card lot? Unless it's the same card. Let's see. Paul says, and I have 400 listings. I've been doing 20 and 100 card lots. 100 is best overall. 20 is good for like Jordan and Griffey. Mine have been 50. I broke my Jordans into 50 card lots. And that's kind of Bo Jackson, Nolan Ryan. Who else did I list yesterday? I listed like 350 card player lots because I wanted different cards in my lots. So I don't think I had 100 different Bo Jackson cards. I have 100 different Nolan Ryan cards, but I didn't want to sort through 100 Nolan Ryan cards. Flipping Sports Guys in the house. Man, it's been a while. Welcome back. Brian says, I list 91 Upper Deck singles in my store, but they are the hologram variations. Those move pretty well. I didn't spend any time sorting, would just list everything. That junk wax actually sold pretty well. Some of my most frequent sellers. I look at everything with eBay in terms of profit per hour. And see, I don't. But you also, I don't think you do this full time. Like, I don't care because I would be doing this anyway. I would be doing this anyway. So I don't care about profit per hour. I don't break it down. I make $6. So somebody did the math. I make $6 doing YouTube videos every day. $6 per my hour. I'm overtime and I'm not getting any additional money. Well, maybe pennies, whatever it is. I'm making $6 to talk on YouTube. So I don't care how much I make. As long as I can pay the bills and have enough to buy some Cubs cards and make my wife happy. Brian says, so much shade being thrown at 44 Magnum today. What is 44 Magnum? Dat dude from Duryea, free versus 99-cent shipping. I'm always going to say free shipping. For dollar cards, I'm trying to weigh my options, speaking late 70s comments. Always free shipping. Paul says the key reasons why lots are better than singles is the time it takes to pick, pack, ship. 100 singles is higher revenue profit, but lower profit per hour than a 100 card lot. And again, if this is a side hustle, absolutely. If it's full-time, I don't think it's liquid enough to scale lots and sell lots. Prove me wrong, but doing this full-time, I would not feel comfortable on a daily basis. But yeah, I know sometimes there's days where it's like, oh shit, this day sucked. There's going to be days like that no matter what you sell. But I just don't think it's scalable for a full-time venture. Maybe it is, but in my eyes, I don't see it. And I think the biggest reason why Brian says sorting through Nolan Ryan's is acquiring the inventory because it's difficult and it can be expensive to acquire that inventory. So you still have that over. Flipping Sports Guy says, left my work from home job, so rarely home when you're on. Paul says, your time is more than 3x more profitable when selling lots over singles because of the time saved. 44 Magnum is Eric Davis. John says, late 70s commons are quarter cards at best. Someone will pay 99 cents to complete a set, but they aren't going to do that building a set unless they live in Alaska. I actually just sold. Let me see if I can bring it up. There's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be people that do this. And I'm like, somebody spent, let's see, all orders. Let me find this sale. And it was very recent. Item title. Was it 1978 tops? Let me see if I can find it. But I mean, it was like, I wanted to message them and say, hey, you can probably buy like a partial lot on eBay, a partial set for the amount of money you spent. So that was 7 cards. There's 5. Was it that seller? Maybe it wasn't. No. Okay, so it must not have been 78. Maybe it was 76. 76. That's not it. That's not it. Okay, now I can't find it. Was it this? Huh. All right. Well, I'm an idiot. I can't find it now. I thought it was 76, 77, or 78. Did I do a 77 search? Let me see. Last chance. There's 4, 9. That's only 9 cards. 8 cards. A lot of 7, 8, 9 on the late 70s. So they're paying about $1 a card. So I thought there was a bigger transaction that I had where it was like 40 cards, but apparently not. Where are we at? Paul says, I actually think the exact opposite. Singles is better for a hobby and lots are better for a biz. My STR is 50% and the profit per hour is higher, so a full-timer can uncap their income. And as I dig deeper though, how do you acquire your inventory? How easily can you acquire your inventory? How much does your inventory overhead cost? And how fast is that selling? Your STR is 50%, but that's over 90 days. So are you going to have an overhead of how many ever thousands? If it's scalable, you have to think in terms of thousands on a project like this. That's where I'm thinking like, okay, when I buy lots, I can break them up into singles. What I don't move, I can just put in player lots, and I'm moving those singles on a frequent basis. Is my business model right now with what I'm making not scalable to a point where I can hire somebody to do my shipping? That dude from Duryea says, so $1.50 free ship. Is that the target number for those 70s? I would say yes. If they're in good, I would even go to $1.75 on mine. I mean, I think that's $2 would be a little too much. I would say $1.75 free shipping is a good mark. Are they gonna move instantly? No, it's gonna be a trickle, depending on the amount of cards you have. But you'll find some takers. Even if you had unlimited free $5 shipped singles, you make about $3 profit each. If you want to make $70K a year in profit, you got to sell over 22,000 in a year. And if you're capable of doing that, you could absolutely do that. John says, I mentioned on a recent show somewhere that I sold 17 Nolan Ryan Advil cards for $2 each. Nice. At a generous 2% STR, you need to have 1.1 million of those $5 cards listed in that year to hit the 70K. Your math ain't mathing because I make more than that on less than that. The whole set is $15 on eBay, and those are some of the wacky things you come up with. Flipping Sports Guy says, this is what I love about eBay. We all have different opinions and ideas on what works best, but at the end of it, it works best for you and your situation. Exactly. Paul's methods don't work for me. My methods don't work for Paul, but yet here I am making a good living doing what I love to do. Everybody has that different point. John says, you're right in that there are different approaches from sellers and buyers. There are ways to streamline and be more efficient. Mikey got a lot of quality advice when he was struggling at first. I source lots pre-sorted on eBay and have a virtually unlimited amount of cards available through one of my consignment deals. And if that works, awesome. Max has some thoughts. What's going on, Max? You both are successful doing what you do. Stop wasting air trying to convince each other one of the other is better. Both serve a purpose and are viable. I completely agree with you, Max. I completely agree. And it goes back to the advice I gave Cooter. If it were me, I would break up those sets and list as singles. I do this full time. I don't care how much money I make. I'm wasting air arguing with Paul for $6 an hour when I could be doing more worthy. I could be listing singles or lots. Why not both? I don't care. I don't care. But if you're not equipped to sell singles using Car Dealer Pro, using the scanner, I would bulk everything out as much as you can. If you don't want to spend the time picking, packing, shipping, listing, bulk everything out. There's a lot of stuff that I bulk. This Sunday, I want to bulk everything out because I don't want to. Yeah, I'll sell dime cards, but hopefully somebody comes along and says, hey, I'll buy everything. Yes, because I need more space. Brian says, that is amazing, John. That whole Advil set sells for like $15. Lots of great advice, and finding what works for you makes it priceless. I found a lot of great info. Some doesn't work for me. Some worked great. Absolutely. Johnny M says, and some of us are happy grossing $300 a week. It's just extra money. And a lot of people, I would say most sellers on eBay, it's not a full. Yeah, I would absolutely say most. 99% of eBay sellers don't care about how much money per hour they make, don't care about how much money they break. It's whatever they do sell, it's kind of a garage sale for them. And that's just generally speaking, whatever it is. We don't care about how much money we make. I do, but it also pays the bills. So I got to care. But I'm not going to care enough to break it down and be like, oh, I only made $6 per hour for Hobby Evolution. I've got to stop the show. One way I vary from some one way I vary from some here is that I don't believe in stale inventory. And I do agree with this. Now, I use the term stale inventory frequently because here I am arguing with myself. There is such thing as stale inventory, but at the same time, I'm not going to do anything about it because, and what's funny is sometimes I'll have the same buyer come in and buy like 7 cards. And it's like, oh my God, this has been listed in my store for 5 years. And they'll buy like 4 or 5 cards that have been sitting in my eBay store for 5 years. And it's like, how did this come up? Like, is there like an algorithm that points people to like the oldest inventory? My store is mostly stars or vintage that sells without worrying about shelf life. Yeah. And I differ a little bit with some of my modern products, especially when I buy Bowman, because if I get it day of or day before, it's got that premium on it. Sometimes it doesn't sell. And then it's like somebody will send an offer. It's like, oh God, this is terribly overpriced, because I typically don't go back and adjust pricing. Now, that is something I have started doing, is going back and basically just on my higher dollar cards, like I'll just sort highest in my store and be like, okay, this needs to drop, and sort it that way, and then adjust some pricing. If it's a $5 first Bowman paper, I'm not gonna spend the time going down and searching for that. So basically I'm relying on, hopefully it's worth $250 and a 50% off sale comes along, somebody finds it. But it's just going to stay stale for a while. Flipping Sports Guy says, got that right, Johnny. I probably throw out more cards a year than I sell in 3 years. I also throw out a lot of cards. Yeah, I'm going to be throwing out a lot more cards this week than probably what I'll sell in a year. Paul agrees with the 70s. My oldest unsold listing is 3 months. Well, that's because you blew up your entire store. Oh, wait, no, it's been 8 months, 9 months, whatever it's been since September. Brian says, need a card show and YouTube channel that brings in $150 a month to live like Bo. There you go. That's what you got to do. Kyle says, eBay is a digital garage sale. Absolutely. John offloads commons for a penny each store credit. Oh, man, I need that deal. Considering my COA is assumed at a penny per, then I'm doing just fine. Max says, I think a tactic everybody should reuse that has stale inventory is the end and sell similar. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier, which is kind of tried and true. There you go. Troy, what's up? Good morning. So that's what I had for today. I'm only making $6 over the last hour and 15, or Maybe a little bit more since we went long. Maybe I'll make a few pennies more. So here we are. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Find singles, find lots, find old wrestling magazines. What else is in there? A little bit of, not a lot of everything, but a lot of cards. You'll save 7 or you'll save 25% when you buy 7 or more at regular price. John says camo shirt. You going hunt? This isn't. This is black. I guess it is camo. This is a golf shirt. And no, I'm not going golfing. One of my mom's friends, I had a different Callaway shirt on over the weekend, and because I didn't get in town till Saturday night. He goes, "You golf today?" And I said, "I don't golf." He goes, "You don't?" I said, "No." "Well, why are you wearing a Callaway?" I like golf shirts. They're comfy. No, I don't golf. I haven't golfed in, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years. I suck at it. Don't like it. So no, it's a Callaway black. I guess there's some camo in it. So no, I'm not going hunting, not going fishing, not going golfing. Just gonna go eat some sushi. I'm gonna list some cards. I'm gonna ship some cards, and have a great day. All right, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. 99-cent cards, my eBay store. See me in Janesville this weekend. If you're looking for bulk in the Wisconsin area, please see me. Janesville, Wisconsin, Sunday, June 9th, this Sunday. I'll have dime boxes and dollar boxes, and I'm looking to blow out those bargain boxes. So come see me. We can make a deal. All right, I'm going to go. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.